A South Korean court has sentenced 7 former senior officials and ministers for drawing up a blacklist of cultural figures deemed unfriendly to the former president, Park Geun-hye. Nearly 10,000 people on the list, including artists, actors, musicians, were denied government grants and support. Well, this case is part of a series of trials involving the former president, who you may remember was forced from office in March. She faces corruption charges herself. With me is our Asia-Pacific editor, Michael Bristow. Michael, this blacklist, there's some well-known names on there.
There is. I mean, it included musicians, actors, film directors, people who worked in the theatre. We're famous people. We're talking about Han Gang, an author who won the Booker Prize last year for her novel The Vegetarian. We're talking about perhaps South Korea's most important film director, Park Chan-wook, who notably made the film Oldboy, which Hollywood remade a couple of years ago. Lots of other people as well. These people didn't just were prevented from getting government grants, they weren't supported in other ways, exhibitions and the like. They were prevented from having their films shown at film festivals, and all because of the president's chief of staff believed that they were opponents of the president, or they'd expressed their criticism, or in some way in their art they reflected their opposition to what the president was doing.
It's quite shocking and presumably had quite a chilling effect. And when you look from outside South Korea, you think, well, look, there's a really lively music scene here, movie scene, known worldwide, and yet this is going on.
It is quite shocking. We're talking about nearly 10,000 people, so that's a big list. The chief of staff, he apparently forced people within the culture minister to look at this list and ban people. If they disagreed, they were sacked or demoted. And as you say, it sort of has echoes of South Korea's past. We've moved forward. South Korea is a democracy. It's very open. It's got a very active cultural scene, as you've just mentioned there. South Korean soap operas are known across East Asia. And it harks back to actually Park Geun-hye, the former president's father, who himself was the president of South Korea in the 60s and 70s. He was an authoritarian, he monitored artists, he kept a lid on what they did. So many people are kind of making the comparisons between these two presidents.
And just briefly, what does it say about President Park's style of government, or the style of those very close to her?
Yeah, it's a good question, because we're not quite sure how much the president, Park Geun-hye, knew about this, but we suspect, or it has been alleged, that she at least knew the list was being drawn up. And it says something of the power that her chief of staff had if he could draw up this list and force the culture minister to act, and something about her style of presidency, that, you know, she would give him enough power and he would feel that this was something that she might want to have done. All these corruption trials which are working through the court system at the moment, they're giving us a picture of Park Geun-hye, and the picture we're getting isn't particularly a good one and doesn't reflect well on her presidency.
Fascinating story. Michael, thank you.